Well, there's lots of reasons why you should tie knots. One of the reasons could be you want to tie something down, or maybe you want to tie onto something and then pick it up, or maybe you want to tie a knot so that if it's running through something, it won't pull through like this. If it was running through a hole, now it can't go through that hole and get lost or make your day harder. I don't remember when I first started tying knots, but I've been independently sailing since I was 12. Be tied around anything, and as hard as you pull it, you can always untie it with your own hands. That's the beauty of this knot. A collection of people have taught me how to tie knots, like my dad for sure. So I started with my dad, and then progressing to when I started working at a yacht club. Climbers, when they belay, this is the knot you tie to anchor yourself while you're belaying, and it's clipped into your harness like this. Probably the biggest influence in my knot tying, it would be a guy named Dave Racine. I work with him down in Delaware, and he's about 75, well actually older than that, he's about 77, and he still works extremely hard, works harder than me, puts in more time, and knows just about everything there is to know about sailing and mechanics. He helped design and first create nylon, which is one of the most basic materials used for line and other ropes. One of the most basic knots there is called a half hitch. That's all a half hitch is. You never want to tie a half hitch in opposite direction or in the same direction. You always want to tie them in opposite directions. Two half hitches create a clove hitch. If this line had a break strength of 3,000 pounds and you tied one knot in it, and you tried to use this line then for towing without untying that knot, it would decrease the strength of the line by 1/3. So now it'll break at 2,000 pounds. So sometimes when I'm walking around, let's say campus for example, I'll see a line attached to like those property markers, those like 1 by 1 inch stakes that are in the ground, and they've got line attached to them, and they'll tie the wrong knot, or they'll just wrap the line around the stake and then go to the next stake, and then what do you know, in a couple of days, it's really saggy because they didn't use the correct knot. They could have tied a clove hitch and it would have never slipped. So when I see things like that, for example, it's kind of irritating, so I like to spread the knowledge of how to do it properly. The place that I use knots most frequently in a day would be while I'm sailing, or while I'm working. I'm a sailing instructor, so a lot of times, sometimes, the schedule for the day is knots. My dad has been the main person in my family to teach me knots. My mom doesn't really like sailing because even though my dad's a great sailor, he does make mistakes, and when he does, he likes to yell and blame other people, and she really doesn't like that. So she stays off the water, although I've gotten her to go a couple of times. And my two older brothers, Matt and Josh, don't really sail that much, but my brother Matt is starting to want to learn, so I'll be teaching him some. I'll probably be tying knots for the rest of my life. When I sail around the world, I'm definitely going to need to tie a lot of knots.